So now we're exploring the international dimension of Manufacturing X and how communities worldwide can benefit of it. Our next speakers, Ingo and Sebastian, have been part of these discussions right from the start, and today they will shed light on the internationalization efforts of Manufacturing X. Please, the stage is yours.
Thank you for having us. Thank you very much. So, thank you for the invitation of your boot camp. Thank you very much for the warmly welcome at Multirec here in a nice location. My name is Ingo Sawilla, and I will talk a little bit about, with Sebastian, about International Manufacturing X. So,
shortly, some words from my side. My name is Sebastian Schneider. I'm at the DMG Mori in Pfronten, so not so far away from here, since 15 years, and I'm now also in the, very involved in the topic of Manufacturing X.
Yeah. So, and when we talk about the idea of Manufacturing X, so let me get a quick information about from your audience. So, could you give me a sign whose company realized some as a service at the moment? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we learned a little bit in the last years how to realize as a service, as a promise for the customer. And my next question is, give me a sign, please, who's direct or whose person or who's personally direct work with it as a service at the moment? Okay, thank you very much. So you get an idea of what it means to realize some as a service in an ecosystem and in a platform system, and you get an imagination about that, what it means to scale it up for all over the world, and you have a lot of challenge to solve. So I want to talk and to get a better understanding. We have a little presentation about the companies, why it's important to get internationalization about the chains. And so maybe this is working. Yeah. So I want to talk and I want to present a little bit about TRUMPF. TRUMPF is 100 years last year. And we have a lot of experience in build a machine, and in the last 10 years we have a little bit more experience about how to realize as a service. We have some pay-per-part, pay-per-use systems, pay-per-power by the hour. So we have experimented with this ecosystem, and we realized some as-a-service products for the customers, and we struggle. So what we learned is, if we not collaborate with other ecosystems, we could not achieve the scaling of this system. And I have for you a little bit deeper insight what we do. So we'll build up some machines, laser machines, bending machines, punching machines. We have 2 business units for measuring tools, but also for laser technologies, to build up some laser components for the automotive or for the semiconductors, you know, for the chip. And we have a great revenue, and our machines look like this. It's classical, and you will see a very similar picture as DMG. And also for the laser systems for the laser marking, for example, and also additive manufacturing. So we built up this measuring tools for the customers to realize some, to build these machines for the market. Now the important thing is, and that is similar to other companies, we are not only localized in Germany or in Europe, so we have some worldwide locations all over the world. So we have production plants, also like service and sales locations all over the world. And you see in this picture the necessity of global supply chains is not new. So all of us knew that the supply chains are all over the world, and that's the important thing. So if we build up this ecosystem or such kinds of federated data spaces, we have to think about how can we do that in a global way. It's not working as we see as Factory X. Factory X has a lot of ideas of the data space, and we will build up this components to get these interactions, to get this interoperability, but it doesn't scale on if we build it up here in Europe or in Germany. It has to be scaled all over the world, and we have to think about how can we manage that, because as you see in the first picture, the world is in different speeds, or the countries have different speeds for build up these data spaces, and they have different standards and policies and so on and so on. And we have to think about how can we manage that in this way. But if we talk about that, I will hand over to Sebastian, and he will present a similar picture of DMG, and you can, with this presentation, make a comparison between what we do in the machinery tools between DMG and TRUMPF, and you will find some similar things.
Okay, thank you, Ingo. Yeah, what are we producing in Pfronten and also in the other plants? In general, we have the turning technologies or turning machines. Then, of course, we have milling machines, ultrasonic and laser tech. These are the, let's say, new technologies, also additive manufacturing. And what is very important, what is increasing quite a lot is the topic of automation. So the automation topic is increasing quite a lot, and that's also the driver for digitization. So if you have automation, you need a lot of digitization, that the machines are running 24 hours. Otherwise, what we see at the moment is that a lot of customers are having automation, but the number of spindle hours is not decreasing so much as it could be. Then also we have digitization, then of course also technology excellence, so also quite important. A lot of customers are not buying only the machine, but also the technology behind it, so how to produce that part, the tools and the technology cycles, and we have training and service. And why I also inserted a lot of pictures in between of the parts is that you see that we are we are in different branches like medical, aerospace, die and mold, usual machinery, and so that also needs that we have standards for all branches and not for each specific branch itself. Now regarding internationalization, that's regarding our customers. So we have more than 100,000 customers, about 150 for sales and service locations, 14 production plants worldwide, around 12,000 employees. But what you can see is that the customers are worldwide. So if we would have different kind of standards worldwide, then we need to develop all the different things for different countries, and that would increase the development efforts quite a lot. So what we need is that we need international standards. Otherwise, the effort to do that is quite huge. Of course, we have then two headquarters, one in Bielefeld and one in Tokyo. And maybe also to emphasize that regarding the development, so regarding digitization, we have on European side around 380 software developers, and on Japanese side more or less the same number of software developers. If they would develop different things, because there are different standards in, let's say, Germany, Europe, and in Japan, then it would be very complicated, and we don't have any standardization and any synergies right now. So also there it's very important that we have worldwide standards to also decrease the development efforts. Also here an overview about our R&D and manufacturing locations. So there are a lot of them are in Europe. Pfronten is not far away for milling machines. Then in Seebach also milling machines, and also in Bielefeld turning machines. In Italy we have two plants. Then, of course, in Japan, we have a lot or some plants in Iga that's near to, or that's in between Nara and Osaka. And then also one big plant is in Davis. We have another plant in Poland. So what you see is that we have worldwide plants, worldwide R&D activities, and we need, therefore, or that's why we need also standards, therefore. Here again, an overview about the industries and the work pieces which are done on our machines. So we have railway, we have aerospace, automotive, energy, and also die and mold. And you can see a lot of different parts which are produced on that machines. So also there you can see that there's a huge variety, and to decrease the development efforts, we need standards which are working over the branches. Now, Ingo, you will show us a little bit about the shop floor.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sebastian. So what you here see is an optimal shop floor. So the real ones, when I make the picture and I had the idea of, it's a nice thing because we have some smart factories like in Chicago or in other countries. There's only blue-white, for example, and it's easy because all the machines on the shop floor are controlled by TRUMPF in this case, and we have the power to design how the machine are communicating and how the shop floor is working. But that's not real. That's only 1 or 2 smart factories we can manage in this way. The real world all over the world is, and I took some pictures from DMG at the customer shop floor in this picture, and you see the real world is much more colorful than only blue-white. So we have DMG machines on the shop floor, also of the competition by Stroning, Armada, and on, because the customer make the decision what kind of machine type they need for their shop floor. So it becomes a little bit more complicated to manage this shop floor and to optimize the processes and the things what the machine will do on the shop floor. And if you think about how can we make some services, or how can we build up as a service in this kind of complexity, it becomes a little bit a great challenge to think about how can we manage that and how can we do in a way of collaboration, find the things who can we share a little bit about that. It's not only about data sharing, it's more than how can we share information, how can we make it interoperable, how can we make it autonomous, so that the machine will be much more, or get much more power in this to make decisions, or the ERP systems get more power to make decisions, and to give more effectiveness in the process of the control of this shop floor. And that's a little bit a problem till now. So as I talked before, we struggle at the moment because we learned, it's very complex, and we couldn't, or we have not a direct access on, for example, DMG machines to build it in and to manage the interoperability in this way. And think about the problem for the customer is all over the world, all over the shop floors, the same. We have to invest a lot of money in a redundance. As you see in this picture, it's only a use case from Factory X. It means autonomous operations or remote operations, what we try to make a little bit more efficient in Factory X. And if you think about what's still at the moment the situation for the customer, or in the customer side on the shop floor. So if the machine struggle, or if the machine stop or have a problem, the customer calls the company. And all of the companies have their own platform, their own system. So, and for the customer it's very complex because he have to call each company at the same situation. And that's very inefficient, for example. So the customer has to make an account, the customer has to put the address inside, the customer has to share the information of this machine in this own or in the shop floor infrastructure to get the correct cybersecurity in this way. And you see in this picture, all of the companies like DMG or TRUMPF or other companies invest in the same solution or in the same question for the same solution, for example, cybersecurity or connectivity. And we started with OPC UMATI because OPC is a standard. UMATI is a standard for the signals in UMATI that the customer get a better connect to the ERP system to know, oh, the machine is running or the machine is stopping. And we have to define this standard because the signals are maybe different in this way, and that's the problem. So we talk about UMATI and we make a first step in this standardization, but it's not enough because if you build up some services, you struggle in this point because UMATI is only a small piece of standardization. We need much more. And that's the idea, and if you think about the shop floors all over the world, then you get the idea why it is necessary to talk not only in manufacturing X and factory X in Germany or in Europe, it becomes international manufacturing X all over the world. And I hand over to Sebastian, he will give you a little idea of what we do. And we don't talk, we do.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, what is necessary or what is the vision behind IMX? So, of course, if we think about supply chains, then they're international. If I think about our machines, then the machine bed is, the casting comes from China, then it's maybe machined in Poland, assembled in Poland, and then it's coming to Pfronten in Germany, and there is the final assembly. So we have international value chains, and we need to, let's say, connect all of them. Another thing is that we need to implement global foundations for data-driven, resilient, and sovereign production lines, because of course we have everything is international, and so we need international standards that they are working together, and that there's no let's say no problems in the intersections. And finally, we need also innovative value creations, so we need to earn money with it. It's not only, let's say, fulfilling standards, but we need what was also in the session before, that we need values which are created by the new products that we can earn money with it. Maybe also a short overview, so what we have at the moment regarding the associations, regarding manufacturing initiatives. Of course, we have the Platform Industry 4.0 in Germany, we have SESMI in USA, and we have other initiatives worldwide. And what we need is that we orchestrate and concrete these or cooperate these initiatives, that they work together. And the second thing is that there are also standards worldwide, and that's why we need to influence and to use them, and we also need to define and let's say precisely define the standards worldwide, so there are standards worldwide defined, and we need to also standardize them. Maybe a short overview which initiatives are already involved. So let's start in Austria. There we have the Industry 4.0 Association. In US, I already mentioned the SESMI, then COSMO in South Korea, and RRI in Japan is also involved. We have Australia, which is connected, Germany, of course, and then I think Spain, Italy is also involved, so quite a huge overview. What have we done right now? So we had a first meeting in Belgium, in Brussels, in last summer. There we met to, let's say, define or to generally meet and discuss about the general procedure. Then last autumn, there were different symposiums, one in Tokyo, where we presented the idea behind IMX, and then also shortly after that in Valencia, and parallel in the US, some meetings, 2 meetings, where we presented the idea and how that we want to start it right now. And only 2 weeks ago in Paris, we had the meeting to define the concrete tasks. So what do we want to do in this IMX? How do we want to do it? And to more or less better describe how we want to do it and the rules. what is now the next, or what are now the next steps? Of course, we are in discussion. We are now defining the rules more deeply and maybe contacting some other countries and initiatives there. But if you want to also participate, you can either contact us, or there is Thomas Hahn from Siemens also involved in that, or Oscar Lazaro from Spain. So these are the two main persons who are responsible for that. But of course, if you want right now, today, any information, then of course you can contact us. Thank you very much. And if there are questions, just let me know.
Yeah.